Welcome, nerds, to the music news for the week. This is a chunk taken out of the much larger full-length show over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Here in the music section, we like to talk about recent releases, upcoming releases, as well as tour dates being announced, festivals being announced, just regular music-associated news and the whatnot. This week in news, this stuff happened. In the music news, we have a Killswitch Engage alumnus dropping a new project and some new music from that project. We have Italian metal band that is releasing new music in a very interesting way. Plus, again, some very well-known acts have announced tours. So we're going to get to all that in just a bit more. And starting things off, we have another follow-up for the music section. And that is Five Finger Death Punch has officially canceled the remaining European tour dates that they have had scheduled because going along the same reason why they canceled three shows, I believe, before this with Metallica, is because Ivan Moody's hernia surgery just did not go over well. So he is still in recovery, and they have been forced to do a dramatic thing, and that is cancel shows. So no announcement as to rescheduling or anything along those lines just yet, but when it happens, we will talk about it. That's what we have for follow-ups. Now let's talk about some new music, shall we? So this week we got a new Behemoth track. The name of the track is Once Upon a Pale Horse. Comes from Opus Contra Naturam, which came out last September. This is just the most recent single. I've never been a giant Behemoth fan. Honestly speaking, just black metal as a genre generally is not really my bag. But this is an interesting new release from Behemoth in that this is like a really good mix. I haven't listened to them extensively in the past, so maybe they just generally have good mixes and I am unaware, but this is not something that you expect out of most black metal bands. There are some exceptions to that. We have Magua, Black Braid, and so on, but yeah, this is for sure one of the better, and the thing about Magua and Black Braid is they're very melodically driven. Not so much, not the perception at least anyway, of Behemoth, and there's a little bit going on here that is less straightforward, just black metal assault, and more thematic, and I can dig that. Is this a track that's going to turn new people on to black metal? Probably not. It's not the best song that I've ever heard, but it's interesting, so maybe a mild recommend goes here for Behemoth. Next, we have a new project from former members of a number of bands, most notably Bullet for My Valentine. The name of the project is Kill the Lights. We have the new song, Broken Bones. This feels strange. I think it's just the vocals is what it is. It feels very strangely Avenged Sevenfold, but also at the same time kind of feels musically a little hardcore-ish. So, I mean, technically speaking, Avenged Sevenfold comes from the metalcore scene, so that's not exactly disparate sounds necessarily, but they sit very interestingly together with this particular lineup. So, Kill the Lights, Broken Bones. Kind of just mediocre in general. Can't really go out on a limb and say I recommend this, but if you like the genre, metalcore, hardcore, kinda sorta some simple radio rock, that combination of things, then you'll probably dig this. Otherwise, I would say probably steer clear. Next up is the new project from Mike D'Antonio, bass player from Killswitch Engage. The name of this project is Death Ray Vision. We've talked about them previously. They just dropped a new single, From the Rafters. New record is set to launch June 30th. No Mercy from Electric Eyes is the title of the record. This is just old-fashioned hardcore. Old-fashioned, maybe not like 80s style hardcore, but definitely late 90s, early aughts style hardcore. And I'm here for it. This is a stellar, like, just all over. The mix is really good. We got a good performance from the musicians. We got strong delivery on the vocals, just all over a standout hardcore track. This new project, Death Ray Vision, seems like it's going to new project. This is the second record that they've released, so it's not super new anymore at this point, and they've been on tour with Killswitch. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, this record, I should say, is showing some staying power for Death Ray Vision. Let's put it that way. The Italian metal juggernaut that is Lacuna Coil has released new music. This song is called Never Dawn. The release around this song is very interesting. So it's not attached to an album directly. It is attached, though, to a board game. The board game publisher CMON, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's pronounced Kaman, maybe? So Kaman has tapped Lacuna Coil for the promotion of their newest game, Zombicide White Death. This is the second sequel to, obviously, Zombicide. First sequel being Black Plague, this one being White Death. It's a standalone single specifically because they were brought in by Kaman to do this. As far as the actual song goes, I haven't given Lacuna Coil a serious listen for some time, but this is... I can see why they have a legion of fans the world over. I can see why they have success. This, I think, is even better quality than I remember back when they released Comales, back in like 2000, what is that, 6 or 2009 or whatever that was. And I think they are getting better as songwriters and as performers, and just as a general statement, this is a prime example of how they're getting better. So for sure, recommend on this one. And then we are saving something of the best for last. Clutch has released new music from their forthcoming new record, Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. It's actually a box set that they just released. The name of this track, they released 3 new tracks, but we are only talking specifically about Boogeyman Blues. Clutch is just damn good. It's not overly heavy. There are definitely earlier records where Clutch gets pretty crazy with the heavy, and even then, saying that I feel like is a mischaracterization, because they're always this like bluesy rock feel in the metal genre, and they are Clutch. They are unique unto themselves, and there is no reason why everyone out there shouldn't have an appreciation for them, because there's literally something for everyone. You want awesome grooves, Clutch does that. You want some crushing riffs, Clutch does that from time to time. You want some crazy lyrics, Clutch does that. You want some really heartfelt, introspective lyrics, they do that from time to time, but usually it's just kind of word salad, because Neil Fallon can do it, and he makes it sound amazing. So any new Clutch music is always going to be a recommend, and this is no exception. Definitely go check out these 3 new tracks, specifically Boogeyman Blues from Clutch. And that puts us into tours and festivals, the next subsection for the music. So kicking things off, we have 311 is back from the dead, apparently. 311 has announced a new North American tour with AWOL Nation and Blame My Youth. Don't know Blame My Youth, but AWOL Nation is a very interesting choice for a tour with 311. The tour starts June 29th in Aspen, Colorado, runs through October 22nd in Pomona, California, and they have 3 dates in Colorado. The first 2 dates of the tour are potentially part of a festival, so that might be a misnomer, but they are scheduled for both of those days, the 29th and the 30th, and then they also come back to Colorado, but it's a rather short trip, so they must just really like it in Colorado, but whatever. If you live in Colorado, you have 3 chances to see 311. Yeah, that's what we got for 311. Let's move. Our next tour is the Queens of the Stone Age have announced The End is Nero tour. The supporting bands for this one are Boston Calling and Sonic Temple. This tour starts August 3rd in Sterling Heights, Michigan, runs through October 8th in Sacramento, California. This one, there is something like 30 plus dates, so there's a very strong chance they are coming close to wherever you are. If you want to see the awesome that is Queens of the Stone Age live, there is a link in the description that will hopefully eventually get you to tickets. Right now, tickets are not on sale, but yeah, go check it out. And then our final tour announcement for this week is Tool. Tool has announced that they will be doing a North American tour as well. This is not just America, but they're going to Canada also. Tour starts September 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky, runs through November 21st in Toronto, Ontario. There are 2 Toronto dates, both at the same venue, so you have plenty of opportunity to catch Tool. This one is somewhere between the 311 tour and the Queens of the Stone Age tour in length. It's not quite as long as the Queens of the Stone Age tour, but it's definitely longer than the 311 tour. And that's what we have for tours. Again, actually for the Tool tour, tickets are currently on sale, and the link that you will find in the description is going to take you there, so go check that out. We don't have any regular ass news, so we're going straight into music suggestion for the week. We're gonna stick on this Clutch thing. I'm gonna recommend to you their album Beale Street to Oblivion, my favorite Clutch record, though kind of a watershed moment for the band, because this record kind of turned them away from the more nonsensical lyrics of their past and turned them in a direction of much more blues-derived, much more purposeful lyrics. I'm not going to say meaningful because there's definitely a song in one of the newer albums where they're giving you a recipe for crab cakes. But Beale Street to Oblivion is definitely one of the more bluesy outings from this band, and just solid all over. Has a little bit of the Clutch kind of sense of humor about things, but also has a lot of the Clutch groove and action. So Beale Street to Oblivion, your recommendation for the week. Once again, this is just the music section. There is a much longer show called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, youtube.com/genuinelynerdy. Go check out the entire show, or just subscribe here and do all of the things. Appreciate your faces, nerds. Before we go though, always remember that if it's genuinely nerdy, it's probably here.